Hey folks, oh awesome. Well, it's Avalanche time. Okay, it just started. I'm currently in sector 247, and it's just started here about 40 minutes ago. I just kind of been looking around, eyeballing, watching what folks are doing, trying to offer advice where I can. But it's like I see my wife down here. She's actually with these V2Cs. The V2Cs, you can tell they're V2Cs is because they have that little blue volcano thing on the back. But they've got a thermal range of 68, and you know, if you've got some kind of, like if you're running Cat 3 and some kind of D2S armor, and you're running Assault Torp B, you should be able to outrange these things. I think that I might be able to even with my Siege, my Siege torpedoes. Now my wife has got the Assault Torp B torpedoes on hers, and you see she actually is able to outrange them. And here I wasn't really sure if it was going to work on here because of those sonar things up there, the torp towers. I thought they might spot her, but because I don't know what the thermal range is on those. But she is able to get to the V2s, at least on the second one. On the first one, she said she wasn't able to outrange them. So I don't know what's up with those and why they're different from this second wave here. And this is obviously the Siege campaign, not the Elite. I did start up an Elite campaign on mine. Really, I just wanted to see. Okay, so I just started it. I haven't actually gone in it yet, and so I don't know how this is going to work out for me. But I have seen people hitting the Kraken subs, and just one thing to keep in mind: a lot of people have the new V2C. They have the new V2Cs, you know, fleets. They've been trying to use those. The cryos cannot shoot submerged ships, and the Kraken never surfaces, so those are no good against the Kraken. Okay, if you have the Frostburn, you know, if you have a Frostburn, then you know, obviously you have the exceptional thermal range, so you'll see it quite early. And if you pair that up with Mastodons, right now I think Mastodons paired up with the Frostburn is probably the best option for the Kraken subs. And but I you know, I do have my Nighthawks right now. They've got some damage on them already. Oh, I just remembered. I'm probably not repairing anything. Yep, not repairing anything. I went out, tried to kill a couple of bases yesterday. I failed in one, and it's a 16-hour repair, but now it's an 8-hour, so I'll go ahead and get that going. This here was a 14.5-hour repair, and granted it did have 2 hours worth of damn repair already on it before I hit the base, so I guess I took 12.5 hours, but I did successfully hit that one. But anyway, so got that going. If you guys notice, my Frostburn will be, excuse me, my Frostburn will be done tonight. I'm super excited, super duper duper excited, and I'm just really thrilled to be able to get that one. And I'm probably going to work on my Kodiaks next, just because I got empty hulls already built, 2 of them, so I'm probably going to work on those. And I may, I know a lot of people use 5 Kodiak fleet, one of the Kodiaks being a Savage, and which I do have a Savage completely built. I may go ahead and mix mine and just do 2 Kodiaks and 2 Mastodons, because I really want to get me 2 Mastodons built. But anyway, let me go ahead and peek this thing. Alright. Now I'm kind of hoping that because I got my Phantom in here, that they won't see me and, hey Thunder, and I won't activate anything, because I really just want to take a minute to look around. Now, people were curious. Ooh, my goodness. Wow, at least I can see the whole map. That's cool. I wish I could move that. Some have thermal, some do not. Let's see how it goes real quick. I'll just go ahead and click on let's go and see what happens with this elite. Now I see with the thermal, I don't know what the thermal range is on the scouts, but I see they got some new hulls in there as well that was discussed on the forums. But a lot of these are sonar, and I think I can definitely outrange the ones with sonar. But if this fire starts coming towards me, I'm retreating. Oh, looky here. Wasn't that awesome? Nobody sees me, but everything's active right off the get-go. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put my finger on the retreat button and see if I can kill this. Oh, retreat. I saw fire. Oh, the fire freaked me out. Hey, Vin Landerson. 47 seconds not going to work with this time with no repair. Oh, okay, the 47s. Yeah, you know, and that's the other thing I wanted to check out here on the vid was I do want to go in. I want to see about checking each one of these. Let me look at the 25. So I know the 25 is the only one in the 20s, right? Or it should be. And then there should be a 41, 43, 45, and a 47. So let me take a peek. Boy, that elite was kind of nuts, man. There was a lot of crap in there. Okay, so there's Vipers in here, so there's no way I'm going to be able to prep with those Vipers with my subs, because Vipers have the really long thermal range. These other guys, I would be able to prep them out, but you see they're active right off the get-go. So this right here probably would be really good for my Harlocks. So right now, I think UAVs I'd recommend for 25s. I'm going to go ahead and retreat. So 25s, I'm going to recommend UAVs. Alright. Let me see what a 41 looks like. Alright, let's zoom out. Okay, so this one here's got a Viper. So that has Viper and is immediately active. And I'm gonna, alright, so let me zoom in real quick. I see, that's really weird. It looks like they actually have missiles on the new cruiser. Isn't that odd? It's very peculiar, and sonar. So for the 41, I would also recommend. Now, I did notice one thing here. Let me go back on this 41 real quick. I just want to point this out. The 41, I did notice it looks like only the Kodiak is. Sometimes you got to think, can I just get to the primary target? You know, that's really what you got to think. Can I just get to the primary target? And the primary target does appear to be quite possibly the slowest one in the bunch. And but it looks like he's got siege missiles on him too. So I don't know. I'm thinking that there might be a possibility of perhaps being able to snipe him out. Well, there goes the Viper, and it messed up that plan. All right, so that's the 41. So the 41, I'm also going to recommend UAVs. All right, 41. Let's hunt for a 43. Here's a 43. I'm thinking it might be possible, but it's just one of those things where you're going to have to play around. And if the boats don't consistently travel in the same pattern, you know, it might not be a routine. If it's not a routine, then you might not be able to routinely do it. I guess is pretty much what I'm getting into, trying to say. But let me zoom out real quick. See what this one right here has got a lot more, and this one here's even got a even one of the Vipers is a primary target. This one here is definitely no sub. So 43, again UAVs, UAV, no subs. And I think the Harlock UAVs, or I'm sorry, the Nash Lightning Carrier or the Harlock Atlas Carrier, because they have the random launch override, would be best. And these are not immediately active. Not immediately active. They actually have to spot something first. I mean, that's good to know, because you can actually prep some of these out then. So in theory, I should be able to prep out probably everything in here with the exception of that Viper with my subs. Let me see. Prep everything but Viper. Now, this is just me eyeballing, okay? So I'm not, this is no practical advice here, all right? I'm going to see when I surface if that activates these things. And it does not. All right, so let's see about if I can go put that into action, put that plan into action. Give me just a minute. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see if I can just prep out this first interceptor here. And that is a V2C, by the way, not the V2H. The V2C has got the cryo stuff on it. It's not really meant for killing subs, even though it does have the 68 thermal range. There is torpedo slots on there that, or what slots that can be used for torpedoes rather. So it is quite possible. Now this is siege torpedoes too, so my range is not as long as assault torp B. So just keep that in mind, everybody, please. I put my, all right, oh, retreat. All right, so they were able to see me before I could start firing. All right, so with my siege torpedoes, I just want to show everybody what my range would be. All right, with my, let me go ahead and pull my build up here. All right, so with my siege torpedoes, the siege torpedo Z, it's not letting me get in there. Dang it. It says right here the range is 71, and that sounds about right to me. So blueprints. See if I can find them. That's Vortex Z. Where the heck's my siege torpedo Z's at? I thought I would have seen them already. Siege torpedo Z right here. Yeah, so the range is 71 in those. And if you have assault torp Bs, that range is 78. So I'm not quite sure if that range is going to be enough to overcome what they were able to see me at. All right, so I think 40. All right, so I don't think prepping everything with the subs with my siege torpedoes is definitely not going to work. Assault torpedoes are a maybe. I guess I could try again with my, let me do something a little different here. I got assault torp Bs on my siege, I'm sorry, on my Spectres. Let me go ahead and check that fleet out. So this one right here, just so you know, I've got assault torp Bs on there, and also the D2S armor. And my D2S armor, by the way, is retrofitted. Okay, and then I got Cat 3. And then I have my ECM here. And let me go ahead and try that. I'm just curious if it's going to make any difference. I love that name, man. This guy in here, his name is Jake from State Farm. State Farm commercial where the guy wakes up in the middle, is up in the middle of the night talking to somebody at State Farm, and his wife goes, I hope she's pretty or something like that. I don't know. It was something crazy weird. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm going to try to move everything over here and see if I get spotted. I'm going to keep my finger on the retreat button because I'm not really sure how this is going to work out just yet. I'm just curious if it was sonar that I was spotted by, or if it was, it should have been sonar. It should not have been. All right. Let's see how this goes. My finger is on the retreat button. So whether I fire or not, I'm going to jump out because I don't want to get stuck in here. All right, so they still spotted me and were able to see me, so it had to have been thermal. So that's not going to work. Oh well, so I'm just going to stick with UAVs for 43s. All right, 45s. Let's go check this one out. All right, so this has got a proto in it, and proto's probably got like crazy thermal range. All right. Oh, stupid mines. They are immediately active. Let me slide, tell these guys to get their butts down here. I probably should just park, that way I'm not hitting any more mines. So that one there's got the proto in it, and everything has got thermal. Alright. It's just their thermal for some reason. I mean, they must be working off modified blueprints. You know what I mean? Because the V2Cs, and I didn't even notice if that was V2Cs or V2Hs, but the thermal range on those is 68. The range on my siege torpedoes is 71, and the range on assault torp Bs are 77. So if you've got some kind of stealth on there, you should be able to avoid being detected by the thermal. As long as you stay at max range. The thermal obviously will see you once you get inside of the 68 range, but you should be able to shoot from outside of that. And I think I was just getting ready to try to show the hulls. So you have the V2C and the V2H. The V2C has like the little blue volcano on the back, and its thermal range is 68. Hi, Extreme. All right, so and that was the 45. So the 45 has a proto. Okay, that one there has a PN. And I do think even still UAVs would probably be really nice. Of course, there's probably a lot more options in that one right there. I know a lot of people are using missiles these days. And missiles are actually a good option. I know that with the radar runners anyway. I'm sorry, not the radar runners, the Bullseye Brigade. Everybody's using Bullseye Brigade with missiles these days. So if you have the Bullseye Brigade, your missiles will be awesome. I think the Bullseye Brigade is the big hero these days. Okay, so that was a 45. Let me go hunt for a 47 real quick. 47. Zoom out. I don't even see any 47s. Yeah, the Bullseye Brigade, basically, it makes missing impossible with missiles. Missiles will never mess with Bullseye Brigade. Evade will not help. Unfreaking believable. Where the heck are all the 47s at? Makes me wonder if somebody's targeting the 47s. Hmm. Oh, looky here. There's a 47. So they completely changed them. I did learn something also about the Frostburn when I was watching this same guy right here. He's a new member of ours. His name is Chris. He's actually only a level 50, but the dude kicks butt, lots of it. And he um, he had a Kraken, and the Kraken, you know how it shoots those two like downpour missiles, but they have the little cryo splash at the end. Um, they have the little cryo splash at the end, and but apparently the Frostburn gets rid of those too. So it's not just fire fields; it's also ice fields that it gets rid of. Yeah, he's a coiner. All right, so I guess these are the 47s this time around. They are kind of cool looking. Um, Let me come back up here. Let me go grab this one. Yep, yeah, he's a coiner. But he does kick a lot of butt. I mean, for a level 50, it makes me think that he's got some kind of prior experience, like maybe he was a reset or something of that nature. But because he knows his stuff. I mean, I don't know if he's just getting the right kind of help or what, but he is a pretty good player. I'm gonna go ahead and go in this 47 with my Nighthawks. I'm not going to try to kill it. If I start to get killed or shot at, I'm probably going to jump out again. Right now, I'm just kind of eyeballing everything and trying to come with a plan. Right now, the siege campaign I think might be the best way to go. That's my early analysis, and I only say that because I did watch my wife hit some start on the siege campaign, and I do know she was able to sub some of those interceptors. Yeah. Hey, Joel. Yeah, it seems like a lot of level 40s and 50s are getting the new toys. I'm not exactly sure, I guess maybe just different alliances are helping their little guys get them, but I don't know. Good for them, I guess. Let's see what this 47 looks like, just from scratch. All right, let me zoom out. All right, let's see here. So we have this target here. We got two targets here. That one there's got depth charges, Poseidon depth charges on it. We've got a big Hulk back here. Scout. Is that a Hulk? But yeah, I'm not going to stay in here. Let me see here, because it looks like everything in here's got thermal. And it's not like they're going to go... Oh, crap. Got my finger retreat. Alright, I'm out. Yeah, so those look tough. So I guess that's what the 47s look like now, huh? And with those fires, with the fire field, normally with the Reapers, the Scouts, and stuff like that, I would recommend like Stingrays and such. But with the big boats in there, probably not, because it's not like before where it was you and the Drax fighting them. It was it's going to be all you having to take that thing down, and I mean, you're just going to have to go in there and just be a really big bully. You have to go there with lots of armor points, so you're going to want to use some kind of a baser. Um, Maybe if you use something like uh, Hell Strikes or something of that nature. I'm really not sure. So maybe Hell Strikes or a Grimshine or something of that nature. But them 47s look really tough, so no more easy points there. Nuke cruisers, yeah, I guess nuke cruisers could probably be good, but yeah, extreme, I do. I think with the 40s and 50s, I mean, it does make a bit more of a level playing field, and I am so tired of people trying to bash guys my level for hitting somebody in the 50s. You know what I mean? It's like when these guys that are in their 50s, some of them can kick my butt. You know what I mean? You can run into level 70s with crappy bases, just as bad as the 50s. Okay, and I'm sure even higher, maybe 80s and 90s. You know, just as bad bases as the 50s. So, but I've been seeing more low-level bases with like mastodons and stuff like that in their base. And now they're going to have enforcers too, right? Because I mean, just looking at the prizes, the prize list. I mean, it's really nice that we're going to have all of these options here. Okay, I mean that really is nice. And I can't believe they said 60 million on that. And it says at capacity, I guess, because I can only have one. But I really don't care if I get another Avenger. I wouldn't mind having a couple more Vipers, but I see they bumped the prices up 9 million, because I think it was like 4.5 million before or something like that. Just like they doubled it. But enforcers in here for 10 million. You know, a lot of 50s and stuff are going to be grabbing those. So these are going to be out there. So between the enforcers and you know, the Grimshine, a lot of people are going to have the Grimshine, the siege missiles. I don't see Mastodon here. And check out these right here. If notice in tier 4 it says you can claim 12 prizes. And I'm seeing, looks like there's only 14 options in there. So you can pretty much get everything in there in tier 4. In tier 9 it says you can just claim 9 prizes. In tier 1, 2, and 3 rather. And but I pretty much have everything. It's funny, it says you can claim 9 prizes and there's only 9 prizes in there. So you can get everything. Tier 2's 9 prizes and there's only 9 prizes in there. So you can claim everything. Tier 1 it says you can claim 9 prizes and again 9 prizes. So there's only 9 prizes in there total and you can claim all of them. And yeah, it's quite comical. And the limited, I guess you can just go in here and just go nuts and just collect everything. But let's see here. Hey, Bailey. Joel, I seen your thing on there, thinking more Atlas. They might have high evade. I really don't know what you're talking about. With the latency, you know, between the video, when you actually see the video, because I actually see the chat as soon as you type it, but you probably ought to be a little bit more specific so everybody knows what you're talking about. Yeah, I think the EMC is not worthless. No, I'm actually looking for a sweet spot. I have not found a sweet spot yet. Right now, I'm thinking the siege campaign might be the way to go, but you're going to spend some coin. I mean, it's good that you got 6 days, but if you're anybody's like me, you try not to. The 47 I peaked. Oh, I gotcha. So you thinking the Atlas? Well, cool. Um, I'm not quite sure what special would help you out with the Atlas. Um, the Atlas is maybe if you put it with a Grimshine or something like that, it'd be good. Atlases would be good, but aside from that, I'm not because those boats in there probably the Atlases probably could be good maybe with the Grim. All right, but my primary thing that I'm going to go for, um, I got to say, might be these siege batteries. These siege batteries are going to be a big deal. Um, that's 4 million. I definitely want the Wendigo too. The Wendigo, even though it's 25 million, now this right here is going to change a lot of people's base cards. I know a lot of people have already tried cryo launchers, and some people still have them just because they didn't want to coin them back to the D2S. I'm sorry, not the. I've got stealth armor on the brain. I apologize, but a lot of people are have had the S launcher on their enforcers in their base, but with this Wendigo, because the charges will stack, the cryo charge will stack with the Wendigo and the cryo launcher on for the enforcer. I think a lot of people are going to go back to keeping cryos on their enforcers, quite honestly. Now, and also the fact that you only have to have, like, as far as the charges go, this right here is a 16x supercharge, okay? Let me go ahead and pull up that blueprint just so everybody can see. But right here it's a 16x supercharge. And so if you have a 0 of 8, because I understand you only have to have an 80 charge to get a cryo splash, is what I hear. Okay, I don't know that through any practical means of my own, but just, it's what I heard. 80 is what's required. So basically, if you can get 5 salvos times 16, that's 80. Okay, so that's your 80 charge. So you should be able to get a cryo splash against a 0 of 8 target every salvo. Okay, and the reload time 7.5 seconds, which is not like terribly great, but I would not be surprised to see retrofits coming out in the future that might speed that up a bit. But you can do things like the tactical fields in your base to get that, reduce that reload time as well. But if you put that in there, like I said, with an enforcer, with the cryo launcher, I think it's going to be a really nice turret. And the range on it, 131, which is going to be about 6.5 land tiles. So that's just something to consider when you're putting it in your base too. Because basically, I don't think you want to put it too far behind your enforcer. I think if you, wherever your enforcer is and it has its max range, which is about 100, you probably only want to put this, maybe 1 or 2 land tiles behind your enforcer, wherever that is. That way it can fire at the target as well, and you'll have 2 things shooting, and then hopefully get a lot of cryo splashes. So as far as placement goes, I think this right here is going to be potentially really nice. But I did notice something about the Frostburn too. The Frostburn, it not only does it put out fire, but apparently that little ice flow that you get for the little cryo ice, whatever that sliding on the water, the Frostburn gets rid of that as well, which is really surprising. I really didn't expect to see that, but I saw it. But I definitely want to get me another Grim. Right now I have a Grim Shine that's in my base, and I kind of feel like I missed out on a lot because I keep it in my base, and I think when I put this right here, it'll be really nice to have one that I can use offensively. Now the ECM, even though everything's got thermal on it, and this right here, basically what it does is it extends sonar. It has sonar built into it, which 60, which is not bad, but it also has a buff on there for um, golly, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Let me see if I can just see it on here real quick where it says it. It reduces enemy sonar. Okay, so it debuffs enemy sonar. It doesn't really increase your stuff. Um, but with everything having thermal, it has no effect against anything else's thermal, so it's not really going to be helpful there. But what it does have is that the field of effect that it has is huge. It has a really large aura, and that can be used for activating a resonance battery in your base guard. So that's just something to think about. You know, if you want to come up with a good base guard plan, it's really 60 million points, I think, is crazy. But you know, and if you got it, I mean, I think it's really for the collector at this point. But if you know, went through the trouble of getting 60 million points to collect this thing, then I'm sure you're going to want to use it. Is because there's not really anything else that has a large friendly field like it does that will activate the resonance battery on your whole guard. There's nothing really out there really else that does that. Now I got mine for being top 3,000 when they originally came out like a year ago. The Savage Kodiak I think is nice. I'm not quite sure if it's worth 35 million points either, but I have the one, and I really wouldn't mind having the second one. I think what's awesome about this one, and that, oh, and the ECM does not have to be a flagship. It doesn't have to be a flagship. It can be anywhere. It's not a flagship only hull. The Savage Kodiak is a flagship only hull. In the basically what I think is awesome about this is that it does have the flagship effect where basically anything in your base, everything, all the hulls that it's in a fleet with get a 50% bonus to penetrative resistance. Okay, if they fire missiles, then they also get a buff for reload. Okay, so but that's not all it does. What else it does is it has this random launch override micro pinch warhead. Okay, so basically if you have it loaded up with missiles, and it can be used for spotting for mastodons. So you can like load it up with like high evade or give it lots of speed, whatever, and just put some low, you know, or some fast reload type missiles on there, whether it be torrent missiles. They don't really have a fast reload, but they've got like huge salvo. But you get a lot more pinch warheads out of them. You know, I'm using strike missiles myself on mine, just because I can get like really good range and everything else. But the micro pinch warhead, you know, I think that's why I think it's worth more than the Highlander nuke cruiser. The Highlander nuke cruiser is really good also because of its flagship effect. It does the same thing. It's 50% radioactive defense and 50% radioactive reload buff. But there is no random launch override with this guy. Of course, the Deadeye, mine just finished. So I finally got mine built, but sadly I guess I can only have one, so it won't let me get another. But and what else? Oh, the Phantom Nighthawk. Obviously, if you don't have it, the value on this thing right here, 40 million points, I think is great. I think it's worth it. It's it's a flagship only hull. It can only be a flagship. But because they do have a flagship sub hull, now you can have 5 subs in a fleet. And if you're using all subs, it's invisible on the world map. You know, that is invaluable. You know, I mean, it comes in so handy in so many parts of the game. You know, I definitely highly recommend this as a grab. But, you know, the one I'm really going for, I can only have one of these, so that's not my main target. My main target really is, as far as additional limited hulls, is the Grimshine Berserker. And that is really because, like I said, I have one in my base guard, and so it's not set up to be offensive. And but what is awesome about this is that, you know, it basically it will give when it initially activates, it activates the whole fleet, and your whole fleet will get a combat speed buff. It'll get a defense buff, and you see all damage defenses 50%, weapon salvos 300%, and that activates for 9 seconds a pop. Okay, and it triggers every 1,500 armor points. So when you get this and you go to build it, you want to load it up with as many armor points as you can. I mean, just load it up. Okay, and you don't want that 1,500 points going away too quickly either. So you want to definitely try to get some kind of evade on there. You see, it's a -10 right off the get-go. So you really want to get your defenses up and your evade up. So you don't want to just put. I mean, if you went with all CP4, you'd probably be fine. But as far as specials go, you know, put some kind of armor specials on there. That way you're not blading the 1,500 points all over the place. Jugex with cryos, and you said you got slaughtered. Might have scratched their paint. Hey, take care, Extreme. Hey, Foxo. So I'm really just trying to get all my thoughts together and all that for the show tonight, because the show is in 5 hours, and it's more important to me. It's more of a priority to me right now than doing the event. But I did win 3 Vipers when they initially came out. You can only have 10. I currently have 3. And what's great about the Viper interdictor, I wouldn't mind getting a couple of more to have a full fleet of them. But obviously they have the thermal ranging, which is 80. So you can basically have a full fleet of these, and they'll outrange any kind of torpedoes or what, because there's no torpedoes that outrange that. You know, and quite honestly, I think, personally, I think if you loaded it up with missiles, that'd be the way to go, because it does have built-in retargeting as well, so you don't have to worry about, I need to put lasers on there. You can still put lasers on there too if you want, just to increase the accuracy, but that's completely up to you. Of course, if you decide to just use it with a special, like seems like what so many people are doing with the Bullseye Brigade, then you don't need to worry about an accuracy buff. But being this is primarily for fleet versus fleet, I would definitely highly recommend going all evade armor. You know, putting either agility on there or guidance scrambler on there. Probably agility, because it has the pinch time reduction on there, which is very commonly used in fleet versus fleet. So I would definitely probably do that. And of course, you know, as far as engines, I think with the engines and speed system, a lot of people don't realize, I think with the turning, you kind of get used to it. But it is almost a requirement in fleet versus fleet. So if you're just running a base, I would say, you know, engines, but being that it's fleet versus fleet, you probably want to stick with speed system. See, the turn speed on here is 20, which really isn't bad. But so this is probably what I'm going to go for too. I probably want to see about getting a couple of these. A second Highlander and a second Savage Kodiak. You know, I'm really on the fence. I mean, if I don't get them, it's not going to like break my heart, you know. But if I can get them, I may go for it. We'll see how easy the points come. You're level 51 and tier 3. The D2S armor is really, really nice. If you don't have the D2S armor, oh, tier 4. Okay. Well, golly, I think you definitely do. If you don't have Enforcer, you definitely have to have the Enforcer. That's easily my #1 pick. Okay, it's because it's base first, right? Well, I should say if you still are trying to defend your base, if you're interested in defending your base, get the Enforcer. Okay. Secondly would be the Nighthawk. Okay, the Nighthawk is really comes in really handy. I have my Nighthawk build. I've got Cat 3, Engine 3, and Battery 3, and You know, so basically I got like the best submersion range you can get in this game right now. Well, I'm retrofitting, so it's going to get better, but you know, I have to get all those things retrofitted. So with retrofits, you know, that by just base only, the Nighthawk can get you the best submersion range in the game. So definitely the Nighthawk. If you like your subs, they're really good fleet versus fleet and everything else. But so I definitely say the Nighthawk and the Enforcer are like my two #1 picks. Good luck, Joel. And the Jug X. Last time the Jug X came up, it was only 1,000,000 points. Now it's 6,000,000 points. The Jug X is another big one to get. If you do get the Nighthawk, you might decide you want to get a torpedo for it. The Siege Torpedo Z is available in Tier 4 as well. And you can claim 12 prizes. Is that nuts? That you can claim 12 prizes? I mean, it's awesome. If you didn't have anything in here, you could claim everything but 2 things. Yeah, I'm still at 0. But it's all good. I'll get going on it sooner or later. I'm just need to get all my stuff in order, and I'll let other people figure it out. You know, we got people that really like to fight over the leaderboards, and I'd like to make it perfectly clear that I could care less about the leaderboards. I think, you know, the leaderboards, it's really, that's KIXEye's main thing. It's their biggest money maker is leaderboards, so they're not going to go away. But hey, Dr. Dirt. Yeah, stealth armor on the subs, and that's available in Tier 3. And let me see. I don't see the Assault Torp Bs. I do see the Siege Torp Zs, but let me see. There's a V, Assault Torp Victor, and Assault Torp R and X are also in there. But I don't see Assault Torp Bravo. But yeah, I saw that. The leaderboards are just, it's insane, really. 73 million I'm seeing right now for a guy in 110. So that was even in Bravo. He wasn't even one of the original starters, and he's at 73 million. It's just, it's amazing to me. I don't understand. I mean, it's, you know, if I see somebody here, let me just look in his battle. I wonder if he's doing the siege. Let me full screen again. No, he's doing the siege campaign. He's not doing the elite. I thought he might have been doing the elite, but he's not. Can't say I blame him. Now this guy's doing the boy, everything's going right for him. Look at that. That's the new boat, huh? So there's the Hulk, and there's the other thing that's as big as the Hulk. Even the Hades is fast. Look how fast it all is. Yeah, I have to watch that. I don't like this idea of streaming other people's videos because I feel like I'm taking away from them. You know, they should be getting, their views should be getting viewed on their video should be viewed on their pages. So I see people do that all the time, copying other people's stuff and then getting like millions of views, and it's not even their own content. You know, it's somebody else's content. But yeah, that elite looks pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it looks quite nuts, and especially how fast everything was in there. That was insane. Um, it was. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It was quite nuts. The how fast it was. I mean, it's like whatever you're going in there with. I mean, uh, it's just going to die really, really fast. You'll just do CM. What is CM? Ventilator. Ventilator. What is the CM? You're just going to do CM this Christmas raid in Drax, I assume. Oh, joke. No problem. Let's see what this level 50 guy's hitting. Okay. Level 10 Drac base. Or level 10 base. Alright, so that doesn't look like a campaign at all. Oh, well, he's probably got a different campaign system. That's right, because he's a lower level. But anyway, I guess I'm going to go ahead and kill this video for now. I do appreciate you guys getting on here. I just wanted to try getting some of my thoughts in order and just do like a quick first look and put down my initial thoughts. And that way, you know, I guess we'll see how it goes on the show tonight too. See if any of my opinions change. Oh, okay, highest level strike campaign. I gotcha. Y'all take care.
The price is wrong, bitch.